So as I was on my knees, and usually I pray standing up, I walk around and pray. I just lay down and pray. And but like I said, he had me just on my knees the last 2 days. And he said this. He says, the higher I call you, the lower I call you. The higher I call you, the lower I call you. In other words, the higher you go, the lower you're going to have to go. You know what I'm saying? Now he's speaking to me symbolically because I'm on my knees. You understand what I'm saying? The higher I go, the lower you got to go. In other words, you got to remove yourself. You can't be high within you when he's calling you to this level. Okay? Now I'm sharing this with you because this is the corporate level. And I heard I've been on my knees the last 2 mornings. It's a sign that God is calling for a greater dependency on this level. We say I'm in a new level. You're in a new level, y'all. I'm not talking about what you see. I'm talking about where you're at. And this level is going to require a greater dependency. The higher the elevation, the greater the dependency must be in God. We are in a place where we're needing a greater dependency on God. The glory calls for you to depend on God greater. The glory is calling on you to depend on God greater. You can't be in the glory trying to figure it out. You'll quench the spirit. Let it go. Do y'all hear what I'm saying? Let it go. There ain't no flesh in the glory. If you in the glory and you trying to still work it out in your mind, you are missing the glory. I'm getting to a point too that faith is not even needed in the glory. Once your faith take you in the glory, it's all him. Your faith is just to get you there. But when he show up, you just receive. Do y'all understand? This straight off the press, y'all. This is bonus message, okay, that I was going to share with you and share to our partners. The glory is calling you to depend on, to have a greater and depend on God greater, a greater dependency where you just like totally just release everything and just trust God. Look at this. This hit me. This is good because if I didn't stop praying, I wouldn't have got this. I had to stop praying. I figured out, I said, wait a minute, he talking. Okay, stop. Certain seasons, this is going to get you. Certain season, you can get away with manifesting through knowledge in your gift. Because you're that powerful, but not in this season. Because you're so powerful, you can get away with, you know how you can just get away with it and things can still happen? No. You can't, not in this, not in higher levels. In higher levels, you gotta come lower. Because your anointing, because your gifting, you can get away. You know how, if you think about it, they say that Jerry Rice was one of the greatest football players, but he said he wasn't as talented. They say his work ethic was greater than anybody else. You know who they said was one of the greatest wide receivers? Talking about wide receiver, Randy Moss. But they don't consider Randy Moss the greatest, even though he was the most talented, because of his work ethic. He became famous off his work ethic, of not even having just off his talents. But Jerry Rice went to another stratosphere because he had a different work ethic. So what we've been seeing, you might be able to get away with it here and there. But then when you climb higher, y'all don't get to see, you ain't going to be able to do the same thing there. It's a different season. In higher levels, you can't produce like that. There must be a total bowing in need of God because the level where we at, these levels are different. The higher the glory, the lower the flesh. Of the glory, in these seasons, it requires a greater lowering. And this last thing, he says, pride is the enemy of the glory. Pride. What does that mean? That means you're not depending on him totally. You got to sell out in this season. Sell out in dependency of God. Like you don't know how that thing gonna work out. You don't know how you gonna get it done. You don't know how you gonna get the resources. You're gonna need things. Totally get it out of your mind and totally depend on God. Because we're moving to a greater glory. You got no business operating like you did last month and this month coming up. You got to change everything. All right? That was the bonus. All right. Thank y'all. God bless y'all. Have a Merry Christmas.